Well, good morning and welcome to the Morning Report. My name is Willie Lawson, and this is Table Four. No, um, my I am the chief bottle washer and host of the Morning Report, a production of fightbackmedia.com, fightbackmedia.com, and fightbackmediatv.com. Trust that you are well this Tuesday morning. Um, Yesterday was fabulous. As a lot of you who follow me on Facebook and other social media know that it was my 35th wedding anniversary. Rock and roll. Looking forward to the next 35. What? I am. Aren't you? I most certainly am. Um, One of our head pastors, who is since retired, said something a while ago when he said he's talking about marriage counseling. He said, the only thing that he can tell people when they're asking for counseling on who to marry, and he said the most important thing is marry the right person. And when you get that part right, it's good stuff. All right, we've got some things to talk about today here on the Morning Report, but we're going to get to those right after these messages. Well, hey everybody, my name is Willie Lawson, and you guys know that I do a lot of stuff on the internet. And you may think with what's happening on Twitter and what's happening on Facebook and what happened to Parler that the mainstream social media sources are really trying to rid themselves of conservative voices. And you'd be right. They most certainly are. Um, but you know what? It isn't as bad as you think it is. It's worse. But there are people who are willing to be platformed for free speech. One of those places is freedomforum.website. Freedomforum.website. You can go there and speak your mind. So come join us. Enjoy the freedom. Enjoy the fun. If you are a true blue conservative, small businesses are near and dear to your heart. They are the lifeblood of our life and economy. I believe this, and that's why my florist is not a website or phone number. My florist is Blooming Days Flower Shop, Tampa's premier flower shop. At 11618 North Florida Avenue here in Tampa, Florida, and at 6835 State Road 54 in Newport Richey. Call Christine at 813-933-1942 and at 727-232-6900. She can also be reached on the web at www.bloomingdays.com. One of the things that I get asked most is where can I get information that is not tainted with liberal bias, especially here in the Tampa Bay area. Well, now I have the answer. tbctampa.com, a website by and for Tampa area conservatives. Tampa's leading conservative voices speak freely at tbctampa.com. And you can too. So join the fun and enjoy the freedom at tbctampa.com. My name is Willie Lawson, and this is the Morning Report. All right, welcome back. We appreciate you being here on the Morning Report. We appreciate you, spending some time with us. Let's go ahead and get this party started. There's been a lot of back and forth about Elon Musk and the Twitter files, and Paul and I are going to do a show, and we're going to go through most of them, find out the important ones. Now, the thing is, some people say, well, they're not so earth-shattering. Well, of course it isn't earth-shattering. For those of us who believe that this is what was going on all along, not that earth-shattering for sure. But the White House is classifying the new revelations about Twitter's censorship during the 2020 presidential election as, quote, a distraction, end quote, and claiming that Elon Musk's decision to publish internal conversations about banning the stories related to Hunter Biden's laptop, which revealed Joe Biden's close business partnerships with foreign adversaries, is nothing notable. As a matter of fact, it's very much notable. If you remember it back in 2016, they were trying to not get Trump eligible because of his hotels, and these foreign dignitaries had stayed in some of these Trump hotels, and he would benefit by that. And there is a certain clause in the Constitution they were trying to use, emollient clause they were trying to use to get Trump to be ineligible to run for president, right? Because of his business dealings. And what Hunter's laptop showed is that Joe Biden, the president of the United States, has some pretty shady business dealings with places like the Ukraine, places like Russia, China. So the White House has said repeatedly they are, quote, watching, end quote, Musk and Twitter closely. Now what's that mean? Musk, who first published the information over the weekend, is promising to reveal more about the leftist bias and political censorship at the social media platform in the coming days. On December 2nd, he said, tune in for episode 2 of the Twitter files tomorrow. And then the next day at 11 p.m., he said, looks like we're going to need another day or so. Ben Shapiro tweets, the hashtag Twitter files are extremely important because they confirm what we always expected, that the Twitter's middle management worked hand in glove with Democrats to shut down Hunter Biden's story in advance of the 2020 election. And it's something that, a lot of us said was true. And we were told that we were spreading misinformation, right? And some of us had our social media platforms throttled. Some of them we lost. Twitter, especially, we lost the ability to post on Twitter. We lost the ability to post on Instagram and TikTok and Facebook. We lost that ability. That story was buried. Memory hold. Meanwhile, members of the leftist media who helped censor the stories during the 2020 elections are melting down or dismissing the transparency as an attack on the First Amendment. Not sure how they get that. When you tell the whole story, it isn't an attack on the First Amendment. When you tell the whole story. What they're afraid of is what Musk tweets at 11:35 p.m. on the 3rd, which is now 3 days ago. The more Twitter improves its signal to noise ratio, for those of you who have turntables, get this, the less relevant conventional news becomes. Less noise, more signal, more what's real. Now, because right now, Twitter is not real. Twitter is not the real world. I've said this before. Twitter is not the real world. And what Musk is showing us and revealing to us is that what we knew all along was correct. Twitter was not the real world. Twitter was something other than the real world. And there was massive manipulation going on in what was allowed on Twitter and what was being pushed on Twitter and what was being suppressed on Twitter. Right? And all, unfortunately, before people understood that they were giving Twitter a lot more credit than Twitter deserved in getting information out, proper information out. Because in the internal workings of Twitter were working hand in hand with the Democrat National Party and others to bury the laptop from hell story, which they knew would be damaging to Joe Biden. Tell me I'm wrong. Write down in the comments where I'm wrong. Tell me where in the comments have I got off point, where I didn't say this before. Look back up those old shows. If you're listening on the website, just scroll down. You'll see all the programs pretty much, especially all the ones about this, right there on the list. Just click on one. We were throttled about talking about any of this on YouTube before, because YouTube was part of the idea that they were going to memory hole this story. YouTube was complicit. And YouTube may want to censor this video because of it, but if they do, it just proves that I'm right. YouTube was complicit in trying to memory hole the laptop from hell story from the New York Post. They were complicit in trying to memory hole it. Now, I will know if this video stays up on YouTube, if they're still a little sensitive about it. It's going to be up on Rumble. It's not coming down off Rumble. Rumble's going to go with it. And thus it'll be on this video will be on our website, fightbackmedia.com. All right, we'll take a little break. We'll be back with more of the program right after these messages. So is it okay now, because it was, I mean, during the Trump administration, it is okay to talk about the president's
yeah. We talked about mental health elderly, so let's talk about this guy mental health.
The president's mental acuity, because there's sometimes where it seems to be lacking. Have you seen?
Sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes it's especially bad. I mean, I'm talking about sometimes it's like really bad. Like, have you seen the picture?
I was told not to take any questions.
I was told not to take any questions. They're going to be mad at me.
They're going to be mad at me.
Mr.
President, are you the president or were you five?
You see, what I want. See, the next question is, excuse me,
I was told to call on what you call it for NBC. Who's telling you to call on?
That's the question that we ought to be asking. Who's telling you this?
I mean, I don't understand why nobody won't ask that question.
Is Jen Psaki actually the president?
Who's telling you to call on these people in the media?
Is Jen Psaki actually the president?
Probably so.
All right. Well, again, welcome back to the program. For those of you who are watching the video, the picture I have behind me doesn't have anything to do with the story that I'm going to talk about. The gentleman that I'm listening to is my dear friend, Eddie Adams Jr., who passed away a couple of months ago. And I have, when I'm looking for backgrounds for my Zooms, I see this in the folder, and it makes me sad. But what I haven't done is that, um, as much as anybody, uh, Eddie encouraged me to continue doing what I'm doing and not stop. Uh, he encouraged me when I ran for office twice. He encouraged me when I decided to do the radio show on WGUL. He encouraged me when I decided, well, I wasn't going to do that anymore. I was going to just stay here. And what we've been able to accomplish, and there was always an open chair on Porch Talk Radio for me. So whether that was on TV, whether it was on radio, on WGUL, or on WTMP especially. Uh, so I just wanted to say thank you to Eddie. I hadn't publicly said thank you to Eddie because, when this happens, I feel in a certain kind of way. I'm a human being. So rest in peace, my man. Rest in power. We miss you. We miss you terribly, terribly here in our area. And I'll get on with it just like you would have had me do. Um, in a Tampa related story, uh, Mary O'Connor, the police chief of Tampa, turned in her resignation yesterday. Now you might ask, well, why did she quit? Well, if you look at one of the shorts that I did and one of the reels I did for Facebook, apparently last week, yeah, it was last week. Her and her husband were, I guess they live in Pinellas County, and which is not where Tampa is. Tampa is in Hillsborough County. Pinellas is the neighboring county to the west, and I think they live in Pinellas County. They were driving their golf cart. This is a Florida story. Their golf cart outside of their community, outside of their neighborhood, on what are public streets. And from the video, it looks like they were going to the ATM because it was nighttime and they were in the bank parking lot. So maybe I'm thinking maybe they were going to the ATM or something. Fairly innocuous, right? Except in that area, in order to drive a golf cart outside of your community, it must have a tag on it. Why? So the state gets a few bucks. That's why. It's dumb, it's stupid, it's asinine. I get it. Really, I get it. But that's not the problem. The problem is that now former police chief of Tampa, Mary O'Connor, decided that instead of just getting their ticket and going on with life, she decided that she would flash her badge. I'm the police chief of Tampa. I'm the sheriff's officer in Pinellas County. Said, "Oh, really?" Now he's got his body cam on the whole time. Yep, you got it. You got it. That's exactly where this went. And she even says on camera, "I was just hoping you'd let us go." After she flashed the badge. Well, he didn't. He wrote them a ticket. The video got out that the police chief of Tampa was asking for special favors from a Pinellas County sheriff's officer, and she was asked for and rendered her a resignation yesterday, Monday. Now, part of the backstory is that, according to the Tampa Bay Times, that this incident, which I believe is probably just sort of the straw that broke the camel's back kind of thing. My guess is there's more going on. Her getting into this office and being picked and being pushed into this office was full of controversy. Her career has been full of controversy. She was actually arrested as a young police officer. So she has had a rocky past with TPD over the past 20 plus years. And because she's been around 20 plus years, she is set to receive an annual pension. And you're like thinking, how can someone like this get a pension? She's going to get a pension of almost $80,000 annually. She is going to walk away with what we all call in the business world a golden parachute. Well, how? Well, let's see if I can. I went through this, and if you understand more than I do, maybe it's the way that it's written, or maybe I'm just dumb. Both, and again, two things can be true at the same time. O'Connor, who is 52, currently receives $5,923.16 monthly in base pension benefits, plus $710.78 in cost of living adjustments for a total monthly payout. Is what she gets now of $6,633.94, according to information provided by the Tampa Fire and Police Pension Fund. Under the city's contract with the police and fire departments, employees can retire at the age of 46 if they have worked 10 years, or they can retire at any time if they've accrued 20 years of service. So let's say you get into the fire department at 24 years old, and now you're 44. You don't have to wait 2 more years to retire. You can retire with all your pension. O'Connor was an assistant chief when she retired in 2016 after 22 years with the department. So she was already getting a pension. No, she's not double dipping. She's double dipping in the sense that she's getting a salary, but she's not getting two pensions, which is cool. The amount of the pension benefit is based on the average of an employee's 3 highest annual salaries in a 10-year period. It is calculated at a rate equal to 31.5% for the first 10 years of service, and then 3.15% for each additional year worked. O'Connor, however, entered the DROP, which they call the Deferred Retirement Option Program, and her years of service were calculated at 20 years and 1 month. That allowed her pension to be calculated for a little over 63.25% of her final average salary. The benefit this year is $79,607 because her annual salary as chief is listed as $192,920. So the benefit this year, her pension benefit for this year, is $79,607 for being terrible, for being awful, but for being herself. When they say crime doesn't pay, what they don't say is government sure as hell does. Government sure as hell does. Well, hey everybody, my name is Willie Lawson, and you guys know that I do a lot of stuff on the internet. And you may think with what's happening on Twitter and what's happening on Facebook and what happened to Parler that the mainstream social media sources are really trying to rid themselves of conservative voices. And you'd be right. They most certainly are. Um, but you know what? It isn't as bad as you think it is. It's worse. But there are people who are willing to be platformed for free speech. One of those one of those places is freedomforum.website. Freedomforum.website. You can go there and speak your mind. So come join us. Enjoy the freedom. Enjoy the fun. If you are a true blue conservative, small businesses are near and dear to your heart. They are the lifeblood of our life and economy. I believe this, and that's why my florist is not a website or phone number. My florist is Blooming Days Flower Shop, Tampa's premier flower shop. At 11618 North Florida Avenue here in Tampa, Florida, and at 6835 State Road 54 in Newport Richey. Call Christine at 813-933-1942 and at 727-232-6900. She can also be reached on the web at www.bloomingdays.com. One of the things that I get asked most is where can I get information that is not tainted with liberal bias, especially here in the Tampa Bay area. Well, now I have the answer. tbctampa.com, a website by and for Tampa area conservatives. Tampa's leading conservative voices speak freely at tbctampa.com, and you can too. So join the fun and enjoy the freedom at tbctampa.com. My name is Willie Lawson, and this is the Morning Report. All righty, we're back. Thank you ever so much for spending some time with us. Why this? Why not? Basically, why not? Again, welcome to the Morning Report. My name is Willie Lawson. The Morning Report is a production of fightbackmedia.com, 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 and fightbackmediatv.com. Again, we trust you are well on this wonderful Tuesday morning. You see it's nice and sunshiny out here at, we're sitting at the coffee shop. And we're always sitting at the coffee shop. It's great. We are always sitting at the coffee shop. Thank you ever so much. Let's see if I can. I can't, but whatever. My goodness, I'll just put that over there. Again, thank you again for spending some time with us. If you're wondering where you can find us, if you happen to stumble along this video, either on Rumble or on YouTube, the website is fightbackmedia.com. 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 There are numerous videos up on fightbackmediatv.com. Fightbackmediatv.com. Please check us out on YouTube. Check us out on Rumble. On the website. RBM Show on Twitter. Fightback Media everywhere else on TikTok, on Instagram, everywhere else. We'd appreciate it, certainly. Hopefully this story stays up too, because I think this is, it's one of those things that it's nice, frankly, to know that we were right. In this Breitbart story that we're going to talk about here, Wendell Husbo uh, writes this. The Washington Post top fact checker, Glenn Kessler, claimed yesterday that the Post immediately went to work in mid 2021, a year after the presidential election, to authenticate Hunter Biden's laptop from hell. After trying to discredit the story on October 14, 2020, the same day the New York Post initially broke the story. Kessler's, whose paper refused to acknowledge the authenticity of the laptop from hell for 532 days after Breitbart News' Emma Jo Morris broke the story at the New York Post, claimed his team at the Washington Post did not assess the veracity of Hunter's authenticated email from the laptop because, quote, no source provided the Washington Post with a copy of the laptop's hard drive. So what he wanted was that somebody was supposed to give him a copy of what was on the hard drive. So not until mid 2021 did the source provide the Washington Post a copy of the hard drive. Kessler tweeted, "Then my colleagues went immediately to work. We hired experts to assess the veracity and produce articles based on material that could be verified." Yeah, since when do they care about verifying stuff? Anyway, Kessler claims he was unable to ascertain enough information to assess the New York Post's reporting. Kessler penned an article the same day the New York Post broke the story, downplaying the authenticity of the email on Hunter's laptop. So if they went to work right away on it, then why? And you couldn't verify if things were true or not. Why would you write an article on the day that the New York Post broke the story saying we don't think it's real? How did you know? How did you know, Glenn Kessler? You're a liar. You're a high-paid professional one, but you're a liar. You are a liar. And that's what you get paid to do. So he says, so how do we know the email is authentic? He questioned. We do not. New York Post published a PDF printouts of several emails allegedly taken from the laptop, but for the smoking gun email, it shows only a photo made the day before the post was posted. The story was posted. The Washington Post has not been able to independently verify or authenticate these emails, as requests to make the laptop hard drive available for inspection have not been granted. The New York Post said it obtained the material from former New York Mayor Rudy Giuliani, a personal lawyer to the president. So on March 30th, 2022, 532 days later, the Washington Post admitted it obtained a copy of the hard drive way back in June of 2021, 9 months earlier. The verifiable emails are a small fraction of the 217 gigabytes of data provided to the Post on a portable hard drive by the Republican activist Jack Maxey. He said the contents of the portable drive originated from Hunter Biden's MacBook Pro, which Hunter reportedly dropped off at a computer repair shop in Wilmington, Delaware, in April of 2019, and never reclaimed. He was dumping it, hoping that it would get lost in the sauce and nobody would ever hear from it again. Hunter was dumping it. Now, Hunter is not the sharpest tool in the shed. He didn't take the laptop on a ride on the ocean and drop it there. Didn't do that. So Rudy Giuliani, who pitched the laptop from hell story to the New York Post for authentication, he has stated that he did not give a hard drive to the establishment media because he feared it would try to contradict its contents before publishing the damning emails. Either nobody else would take it, or if they took it, they would spend all the time they could to try to contradict it before they put it out, Giuliani told the New York Times, which is probably right. So in 2018 and 20, Breitbart senior contributor and Government Accountability Institute president Peter Schweizer published Secret Empires and Profiles of Corruptions. Each book hit number one on the New York Times bestseller list and exposed how Hunter Biden and Joe Biden flew aboard Air Force One in 2013 to China before Hunter's firm inked a $1.5 billion with a B deal with a subsidiary of the Chinese government Bank of China less than 2 weeks after the trip. Schweizer's work also uncovered Biden's family's other vast and lucrative foreign deals and cronyism. The fact of the matter is, the Biden family is as dirty as they come. Now, I know they have this, we're from Scranton and we're working class people persona that they're trying to push. But the fact of the matter is, they are as dirty as it gets. They are as backhanded. Get money however you can. Keep power, doing whatever you can as it comes. And this information is out there already. And the fact of the matter is, had some of it come out or more of it come out before the 2020 election, the results might have been different. They might have been very different. Always push for the truth, no matter what it is. It's a great thing that Elon Musk is pushing the truth in how at least Twitter tried to memory hold this story. And if Twitter tried to memory hold this story, doggone well, so did Facebook, and so did Instagram, and so did TikTok, and so did Snapchat, and everybody else tried to memory hold this story. That's the truth, right? 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 My name is Willie Lawson. This has been The Morning Report. The Morning Report is a production of fightbackmedia.com, 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 and fightbackmediatv.com. Until we see you again, go out there and learn something, love somebody, and for goodness sakes, don't take care of yourself. We will see you when we see you. Bye-bye now.